Hello, everybody, and welcome to another one of the episodes of the Build Around, where each of us build around a card. I want to say thank you so much for your kind words and comments on the previous one where we did the Shining Trapezohedron. You had a lot of fun with the series, so we're going to try to make sure it's more in rotation, because honestly, it's actually pretty fun for me. I can't speak for Travis and Bryn, but, it's a good time to just kind of like workshop around a deck that we probably would never play otherwise. And today, we're not building around one card, but four cards. The Desperate skills from the Path to Carcosa, which each give you four icons, and they can only be committed if you have three or fewer sanity remaining. So we each build a deck, and Travis, we're going to start with you this week, because you finished up our last episode.
Sure.
So we got you here, a Carolyn deck, but I'll pass it on to you, and I'll show the cards as you talk about them. Key of Yeast, holy hell, look at that, let's go.
Yeah, so this is like Carolyn who gets +4 all the time. If you look at our skills, we have all the Desperate skills as the deck building stipulated, and 2 Promises powers, because it's like the same card, but better. We have the Bestow Resolves over in our Arcane slots to abuse, so we can commit them to whatever we want. We don't have to care about that. And then, so I knew I wanted to get to low sanity to be able to like use them. And Forbidden Knowledge is a big part of that.
Yeah, that seems good. Yeah.
As a way to ding yourself. And then Pete Sylvester is there to keep you from exploding once you have your low sanity.
Hell yeah.
We have our 45 on max, our fingerprint kits, that way we can like do something. It doesn't really matter what your base starting stats are when you have like +4.
Yeah.
So we're going to use those to kill things and get clues. We have some vicious blows to also help out with getting clues, because that's like a good skill that we're allowed to play.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure too, it's only max 1 committed per skill test, but you could do like a run for your life on Bestow Resolve, and then just still even put in a Reckless Assault for if you're fighting with your gun. That seems excessive. I love it.
We have Tetsuo Mori, who can help dig out our assets that let us actually do things. And then we also have, I kind of see, thank you, Deep Knowledges, because it's a really good card to draw more cards. None of our skills replace themselves, and like we do need to see a constant influx of them and also find the Bestow Resolves, so that was important. Anyway, and once I got in the core of the deck down, I realized I had a shit ton of experience just hanging out. So I threw in Stick to the Plan, and I was like, damn, I need some stuff to put on this. So that's how we got the Dynamite Blast and Ever Vigilant and Shortcut. They're just there to stick to the plan. And I was like, man, if I had a little more experience, I could play Key of Yeast. And in the thick of it, starting with 2 mental trauma is a nice way to kickstart that brain damage and also be able to play this card.
Man, this is so funny because I went through a very similar process that you did, where I just put in cards because I was like, I have to fucking spend experience.
Yeah.
Considering like almost a third of my deck is non-experienced cards, right? That are just like, they don't really do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a first version of this deck that was playing Spirit of Humanity, and then like Sweeping Kick instead of Shortcut is my other Stick to Plan card. And then I realized, like, I mean, Sweeping Kick came out just because I needed the experience for the Key of Yeast, but I kind of realized I was like, I can't do anything with like any of the tokens I'm really putting in here. I'll just be like making the bag shitty for no real benefit.
Yeah.
So that ended up getting scrapped, and then
I like the Forbidden Knowledge a lot. I like that because it's giving you resources. You're taking horror, and then you're also getting you towards this because like you have a big mountain to climb from getting to 9 to 3. That's 6 horror marked on you.
Oh yeah, we start at 7.
Yeah, and the In the Thick of It is a great thing for helping on that. I'm also running an In the Thick of It in mine.
Yeah, we're also like very slightly reliant on drawing something like Wrong Reigns and just eating it.
Yeah,
that would be really nice in the early game.
Yeah,
for this deck to function well. But,
just hope and pray, right? Hope and pray.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, mine is actually very similar to Travis's. So we don't build these decks together; we build them individually. But as you go, mine is like look at this event and skill side of this. So I was in a very... Well, I only have one. Oh, no, there's only one in the thick of it. So, I started in a very similar place to Travis. I actually originally was doing just a Silas deck, because, like, in the thick of it turns them on immediately. But then I thought, no, this is kind of just boring, because it doesn't really, like, do anything. And then I saw Bestow Resolve, and I was like, oh, I could have 10 Promise of Powers. That's pretty fun. And, like, so this is a very heavy support Carson, as Carson is meant to be. And I started with, the Desperate Skills, Promise of Power. These were the first cards I put in. Bestow Resolve was next. I almost put in Key of Yeast, but my experience filler was 2 copies of 1-2 Punch.
Sick.
Number 1, because it has 4 icons on it. So really this is 12 Promise of Power deck. But I don't want to spend 5 experience for 4 wild icons, personally. But this card's actually, I think, really good here, because it's just, like, damage, and then you're going to pass this test because you have a Promise of Power in your hand. So you're going to be attacking at 9. So this just represents, like, 5 damage from Carson. For keeping me alive...
How are they ever going to recover from, getting beaten by Carson Sinclair?
No, emotionally, like, they're done.
Way. Like, bag over the head, like, let's go.
Yeah. Like Travis, I thought, how the hell am I going to stay alive? And Gurish, I think, is just a really good Scarlet Keys card that's obviously very good in Carson. And this guy just means that he's kind of like a Pete Sylvester that Carson can run in a way. Just a bit more expensive and, not always a skill boost. But it's just a very good card. And you can use it to support other people, but I don't think that's, like... You're greedy in this deck, even though you are helping. Obsidian Bracelet is another card I took in here from Scarlet Keys to make it so that we don't, just die once we're at 3 horror, because we do start at 4. And you might be thinking, where the hell are we going to get our last horror from? Well, that's where Ward of Protection comes in. You just use it on the first test, and you go, we're good. Like, the first card, even if it's like, if that card says, you win the game, ward it, because we want to start getting our Promise of Powers online. ASAP. So that's what this is here for. That gets us down to 3. Card draw. I brought Eldritch Initiation because we are going to have card slots filled, which I just actually honestly realized now. I forgot that. Does this take up an Arcane? It does. So I just realized this now. So don't play this deck. Change this card with something else because I'm an idiot. Stand Together is also here to help us get cards and resources and help people. But I think realistically, a big thing of this deck is that you're Carson Sinclair, so you're going to have downtime to draw cards when the time needs it. And I think you're going to like be able to get through Selphus to a fault, no problem. I have a Winds of Power here as to put more charges on our Bestow Resolve, which I thought was kind of more cheeky. And I also ran a Sweeping Kick. Because, you kind of just have to. You kind of just have to if you're Carson Sinclair. It's kind of like the rule. So yeah, my deck is very similar to Travis's in like the idea with Bestow Resolve, but it looks a lot different. Like, I mean, just like, look, it's just like a fucking rectangle on this side of the board. But I think this deck would be fun. As fun as just playing Promises of Power can be. Right? Alright, Bryn. Your deck.
I'm the only one who's got a different pile here. Although I am still playing in the thick of it because it turns out nobody starts with 3 sanity.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, okay. This one, I'm playing the requisite 7 different desperate skills that you have to. I think, or did I put the other one back in? Oh.
Yeah, no, you have one.
Yeah, I did.
You have one desperate search. Yeah.
Because desperate search seems lame. We're not here to do that. We're here to play the sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
And in the name of doing this, because it cares about how much we succeed, up to 6 points in excess of what we need, and
yeah,
we've also
that does seem sick.
Yeah, we're using because the desperate skills don't replace themselves. We're Winifred Habermock so that they do.
Yeah.
We've got our suite of skills like opportunist that you kind of have to play and watch this because it would be a bad choice not to. I think really, like draw a card and get money. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
We've also got momentum here,
that seems
which
good with
helps
the
us
shotgun.
out. And it does a very similar thing. It cares about how much we succeed by, up to a number larger than one.
Yeah.
But this help will let us use this dirty fighting, which is again also here to help offset the fact that the shotgun doesn't actually give us any sort of a punch boost. So we can evade an enemy, and we can evade them with a run for your life and a momentum.
Yeah. So
we're gonna succeed unless we draw the auto fail.
Yeah.
And then the test will be easier for our sawed-off shotgun, but we can also just throw reckless assaults and whatnot at it.
That does seem
and
really
the fight is free because that's what dirty fighting does.
Yeah.
We got the 25 automatic because we're only allowed to play 2 copies of the sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
And this, it's one of those things where like if you show up to a game and you're like, "Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna fight monsters," and then you just spend all game being like, "Well, I didn't draw my gun."
Yeah, Travis will yell at you.
Like your teammates tend not to look too fondly upon that.
Yeah.
We've got 1 copy of the cigarette case in our accessory slot. Again, like this one actually has no ceiling, so we can use this to find whatever we want.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we've got a copy of the precious memento because we have to figure out how to stay alive at 3 sanity.
Yeah.
Notably, we have the one that when you succeed, you
2.
get to remove horror.
Yeah.
Not the other one, because we're not too worried about that. In order to get the last damage onto us, because we do start at the game at 5 sanity, we got painkillers. We have to take damage to make these work, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. We have 1 brain. We're gonna fail tests all the time.
Yeah.
But we do have like anything you can do and say your prayers to help stop that once we're at the requisite amount of sanity. Yeah. And then Gregory Gry, because he's really bad at gambling, and he also soaks for 2 horror. So,
and I was gonna say this is the dumbest Gregory Gry in the world. Like he's making the worst bets against you.
No, actually though. Yeah. You like show up and you're like, watch this. I'm gonna run past that guy and he's gonna chase me and then I'm gonna trip him and shoot him in the back of the head with the shotgun. And he's like, 6 says you can't do both those things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's like,
and you're like, no problem.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm up 12, and Gregory's like, I bet you can't succeed by 3, you idiot.
Yeah, he's not so good at the old mathematics.
No. This is sick.
Yeah, and we got 1 copy of Swift Reload because all our fighting tools use bullets, and if we have no bullets, we don't really do anything. I didn't spend the In the Thick of It XP because I couldn't remember if you were allowed to in standalone or not.
Yeah.
But if you can, I would probably just buy a Relic Hunter to be able to have the cigarettes and the memento in play at the same time.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. Because that's easy. Add that in there. Honestly, I like this because the built-in Winifred draw is really nice with those cards when they're going, right?
Yeah, like they don't replace themselves, and that's their biggest weakness. So.
Yeah.
Not that you have to have 3 or less sanity.
I have 3 or less sanity all the time.
Yeah, that's just what happens.
That's true.
Sweet. Man, I love them. I love all the decks. I just love seeing Kievies here, especially because I almost put it into. I was like, I should do Kievies because they will keep me alive and make my numbers good. But I like the 1-2 punch because then Travis and I decks weren't like the exact same thing. And then this Bryn's rogue deck that I think is really cool.
Yeah, you can even use the painkillers and smoking pipe to heal yourself by dumping the damage onto the precious memento and then hoping to heal it off by failing or succeeding.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, this like the lucky cigarette case, you're gonna be like looking the top 8 multiple times with this deck.
Yeah. Yeah, there is only 1 copy because there was only XP enough for that because the sawed-off shotgun takes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
But
sweet.
no, I think this one might be a little bit fun to play.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it looks cool. I actually like all three. I think they'd be really fun to play them together, all three of them. I know people want us to do these as like a one-shot, but honestly, Scarlet Keys, actually, by the time this video comes out, Scarlet Keys might already be released. So we're probably going to be doing that first, but maybe one day we'll be able to play with these decks together because it would be fun. And
I mean, like, how hard could we dunk on a Gregory Gry with these piles?
I know, eh?
Like,
no, what I
if
really
you can't
want...
succeed by 3, how about 15?
What I really want with the Lucky Cigarette Case for you to commit, like, it's an evasion test, and you commit your anything you can do, your run for your life, and then Travis and I each commit our run for we do our things to turn them into promises of power, and you're up like 12 plus fucking how many symbols are on anything you can do. You're up 18, 18 on top of your 5. Like, that's wild. That would be
just
really
just draw the red token.
Yep.
Like, all right, you win this round.
But we'll be back. We'll be back. Awesome. For people watching at home, what did you think of the decks? Did you enjoy the ideas that we have playing around these desperate skills? And on that note, please let us know of any cards you want to see us build around for these in the future. I have a list that we're pulling from our Patreon, but if you want to add some things to it, please let us know down in the comments. And speaking of Patreon, huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. It is very kind of you and allows me to record Arkham for you all the time, which is a blast. And yeah, I had a great time seeing these decks, and I'm excited to do this more because it's really cool seeing what Travis and Bryn come up with, and then my skill-based deck, even though, you know, I didn't just build a Silas deck, even though I could have. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, the GGs.